Okay, so now here we are with part 4 in this series on just conflict. So we've learned about coming from ourselves, making change in the place has the greatest opportunity for change. The lever point is where we are most bothered and where we have the power to do something different. We can't change somebody else. We can't change some other system. We can't change a system that we're not, in some sense, a part of. All right. So we pay attention to, are we oriented correctly? Do we know what is arising, what it arouses in us? What are we longing for? And then what is it that we can do? How can we step into a new way of being that will allow us to create more and more of what we need? And when we do that, we are always, in some sense, speaking the helpful truth. How we speak may be different. There's a lot of things that are true, but not every, if it's not true, it's not helpful. But there's some things that are true, but they are not helpful. So how do I know of all of the possible truth, which is that which is most helpful? And how do I speak it in such a way that my words have the greatest power, the greatest creative impact on the system? All right, so that's this final piece here, these last things we're going to talk about. One is that when we are in conflict with somebody, we will tend to see them as an enemy, and they will tend to see us as their adversary as well. So if we're going to resolve the conflict, what we have to be able to do is to become allies, at least in some sense. We have to be working on the same thing, working towards similar or identical even goals, our aims, our purposes. So what is it that we both need? And I have a whole protocol about coming to durable agreements that include a process for getting to the place where we're clear about what is it that we both need. But just to say at this point that a part of it is that I have to address the relationship with the other in such a way that I am discovering and helping them discover the ways in which we might be allies. Because if we're adversaries, then we're keeping the situation polarized and it's us against them, and we're going to be busy making each other lose rather than busy creating what it is that we both need. All right. Second thing is be curious, but don't ask questions. It is very wise to wonder about and to seek more information. But the way that we do it, sometimes when we're questioning people, they feel like they're getting the third degree. Questions are actually shorthand statements. And so when I have a question about you, you may hear me saying something about you that's not actually me being curious. It's like if I say, how could you be so stupid? You're not going to hear that as my being curious about you. If I say, what time is it? You may think I just don't know, I don't have a clock handy, or you may be my teenage son and it's 15 minutes after curfew and I'm really pointing out to you that you're late. So especially in relationships, in conversations, when there's some kind of tension, don't ask questions. Be curious, but allow your curiosity to be expressed as an expression of what's going on for you. I'm wondering about it. It perplexes me that this is the thing. This is the place where I need some help or clarity. So that what we're doing is we're revealing ourselves to the other rather than demanding that they tell us what's going on with them. All right. This is not about getting somebody else to change. This is about me being different in the relationship in such a way that I move towards what I need. All right. Third one is that sometimes the issue is really hot, and if we slice this sucker open, it's going to be wet and sticky, and it's going to make us cry. And so there's way too much here for us to deal with in a single conversation. So we don't. We just take it one layer at a time. And we start with that outer layer, the outer layer of the onion, where it's dry and brittle, and we can hold it without getting our fingers sticky. And then bit by bit, conversation by conversation, we move towards the middle, but we don't move past the place of our safety. We don't move the conversation into a place where anybody's going to feel unsafe until we're ready to get there. All right. We haven't talked a lot about apologies. Apologies, forgiveness, are great ways to begin a conversation. If I start a conversation, if you and I are in conflict with each other and I start a conversation with you by apologizing to you, if it's a genuine apology, you're going to want to hear what I have to say. If I can find something that I'm grateful for, there's something you're doing, and much as we may be in conflict with each other, I'm really thankful that you, right? That really sucks the anger out of other people. It just sort of oozes out, right? Flushes the system. Very hard to be angry at somebody who's is expressing gratitude to us. So structure the conversation in which you're creating at the outset the tone that you want to have that will be the most likely to create the resolution that you're looking for. All right? So think about how we're going to structure it that way. And ultimately, every conversation that's healing starts with knowing what is true. If I'm saying something that isn't true, it's not helpful. Satya, be grounded in what is true, what is real. Right? Some of what is real is irrelevant and thus unhelpful. Some of it may be true, but it's actually adversarial. We don't need that right now, right? So of the truth, which part of it is helpful? And that's what I want to express. And I want to speak that in a way that you're most likely to hear it. I want to listen to my speaking as though I am you, so that I'm speaking as much as I can into a way that you're going to really hear what it is that I'm saying. So as we are able to do this, we create better and better relationships. We're more grounded in ourselves, and we're leaning towards and moving towards greater justice. All right. So again, this was like drinking from a fire hose. There's a whole lot of material here. 10 minutes on a class I spend 10 weeks teaching. But it kind of lays stuff out there, and I hope that it will get us a good start into the next two conversations within this complexity and justice conversation. All right. See you Thursday.